Welcome back to another lesson, everybody. Today we are going to talk about multiplying fractions. And in reality, multiplying fractions is actually one of the easier operations to do with fractions. Let's say I give you something like 3 times 1/5. If you have 3 times 1/5, what you can do is pretend you have a 1 in the denominator there. If you see a whole number by itself, there's always a 1 in the denominator. So you can just put a guiding 1 there if that helps you. But all you're going to do is multiply the numerator together and the denominator together. So you'll get 3 times 1 is 3, 1 times 5 is 5. And that's your answer, 3/5. That's all there is to it. We got more examples here. Alright, how about 5? Alright. We got 5 times 1/8. So again, just multiply your numerator together. 5 times 1 is 5. Multiply your denominator together. 1 times 8 is 8. And you'll get 5/8 as your answer. We do get some harder ones here, don't worry, those are coming. One more easier one, well, one super easy one. 2/5 times 3, okay. And let's see, we got 2/5 times 3. Well, again, multiply your numerator together. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. So 6/5 is your final answer. And this is the first time in our lessons you're actually seeing what's called an improper fraction as your answer. An improper fraction occurs when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. We will get, in a little bit here, not today, in a few more lessons, we will get into improper fractions and what those mean. But for now, you can leave it in the form of 6/5. That'll work just fine. Alright, what do we got here? Good one. Alright. Let's say you have a fraction like 1/2 times 1/3. So again, it's going to be easy. You multiply the numerator. 1 times 1 is 1. Then you multiply the denominator. 2 times 3 is 6. So your answer is going to be 1/6. So far, piece of cake, right? Got 2 more easier ones, then we get into some slightly harder ones. 2/5 times 2/3. Alright. Then we have this one here. We have 2/5 times 2/3. Okay, 2/5 times 2/3. So multiply your numerators together. 2 times 2 is 4. Multiply our denominators together. 5 times 3 is 15. And 4 and 15, they don't reduce any further, so you got your answer, 4/15. So far, we haven't had to reduce anything, but that's about to change here. One more of the easier type, and then we're going on to some you're going to have to reduce. What was 33? Oh, 1/10 times 1/100th. Okay. Let's say we have 1/10 times 1/100th. Alright, so again, multiply your numerators together. 1 times 1 is 1. 10 times 100, well, that's going to be 1,000. And it doesn't reduce any further, so your answer is 1/1000th. Alright, those are the easier ones. We get into some slightly harder ones here. Let me flip the page so I can go to it for the problems. Alright. Now let's say we have a fraction like 2/3 times 1/2. Yes, you can still multiply the numerator and denominator, but with any fraction problem, you got to get the answer in simplest form. So look for things you can cancel. You have a 2 in the numerator, you have a 2 in the denominator. Those will cancel out. You will be left with 1/3. And that's all you're going to have. That would be your final answer. The 2's canceled out, so you got 1/3. Not too bad of a problem. Alright. 1/4 times 2/3. So another problem like it. You have 1/4 times 2/3. Well, we can factor out between 2 and 4. We could definitely factor out. So you'll have 1 times... Then you can have 1 times 2 for the 2 here. Then for 4, 2 times 2 are factors, all over 3. Well, we could factor out a common 2. You're going to get 1 over 2 times 1 over 3. So between 2 and 4, you have a common 2 you could factor out. I wrote it out the longer way. 2 factored out, so you're left with 1/2 times 1/3. Multiply numerator together, you get 1. Denominator 2 times 3, so your answer is 1/6. It's always best, if you can, in problems like this, to simplify before you multiply. Because otherwise you're working with bigger numbers, and generally it's not as fun to work with bigger numbers. It's usually better to work with smaller numbers, and they're easier to simplify. Alright, this will be an easy one. You have 1/3 times 3. So 1/3 times 3, again, in the denominator with the 3 is a 1. They're just a guiding 1 there, we know that. But between the numerator and denominator, you can cancel out a 3. You're just left with 1. And that would be your answer. You have 1. I got 3 more problems here. 3 more problems. Alright. 24 times 1/6. Okay. We have a common 6 we could factor out between the 24 and 6. So, let's do so. We have 6 times 4 is 24. Those are factors of 24. Over a guiding 1. We have a guiding 1 for the 24. Times 1 over 6. Well, it looks to be that the 6's will factor out, so you're left with 4 over 1 times 1. Well, 4 over 1 is just 4, so your answer is 4. Alright, 2 more. What does this one look like? 18 times 5, 6. Alright. Again, it's best that we factor before we multiply, because what's going to happen if you don't is you can go ahead and multiply the numerator and then the denominator, but you're going to end up 18 times 5 is 90. You'll have 90 over 6. That's not nearly as easy to work with as what we're about to do here. Factors of 18 that involve 6 are 6 and 3. So you're going to have 6 times 3. The denominator for that 18 is 1, of course. Then you'll have times 5, 6. Or you could do 6 times 1 if that's easier. I mean, that's what it is. It's 6 times 1 for a factor of 6, since we're trying to factor out a common 6 between the 18 and 6. So yes, indeed, we got 6's that cancel. So you are left with 3 over 1 times 5 over 1. Well, the ones in the denominator really don't matter. They're just kind of a guide. So your answer is just going to be 15. It could be 15 over 1, which would give you 15. But yeah, that's your answer. One more problem. 41. Alright, we have something like 11/24 times 3/5. So we got 11/24 times 3/5. Do we see anything we can factor out? Well, 11 and 5 definitely don't work. 3 and 5 don't work, but 3 and 24 sure do. So in the numerator we'll have 11 still. The denominator, 3 is a factor of 24. It goes into 24 8 times, so you'll have 3 times 8. In the denominator, all times 3 times 1 is a factor of 3. All over 3 times 1, and then you have 5 in the denominator. Now we can factor out a common 3 from the numerator and the denominator. You're left with 11/8 times 1/5. Then all you're going to have here, you just multiply the numerator and denominator. 11 times 1 is 11. 8 times 5 is 40. You're left with 11/40ths, and those do not reduce any further. And that's really all there is to it. It's just big things on looking out for common factors you can factor out. So as a general rule, remember, simplify before you multiply. And that'll conclude this lesson. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.